Hello, everybody. Hello, it's 7 o'clock. It is Monday evening. It's time now for another conversation with Chevalier. Look, tonight, my honored guest is somebody that I've been waiting to have on my show for a long time. Truly a special guest, someone who's carved out her own niche in the cigar world. And, I can't wait to have her on, man. I think it's going to be an amazing conversation. I hope you guys have been doing okay these last couple of weeks. Look, I have been super busy getting ready for taking kids off to college and things like that. I have been super busy. So, I've been just kind of chilling with that and doing some different things, man, and just trying to get back into the spirit of doing my cigar lifestyle thing and doing my show. So I'm glad to be back. You guys know it's been a long journey, but I'm glad to be back. So I welcome you and thank you for joining me for another conversation. Second, and we'll get started. There she is.
Hey, can you see me okay?
Hey. Yeah, I can see. You know what?
Look,
you cut off about right here. I'm looking at. All I'm seeing is eyebrows, no forehead.
Look,
no
I
head.
don't know what's going on with all these filter things either. All right.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, pull the camera back a little bit. I think that'll help you a little bit. There you go. Oh yeah.
All right. How's that going?
Yeah, there you go. I can see you. You about right here now. Up. So we just lost her. So we'll get her back in a couple seconds. Like I said, this is Conversations with Chevalier, and we're getting started with our featured guest here. There you go. You're back.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, go back. Pull it back a little bit more. That way we can see your face. I want to see the whole top of your head.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
going to make
trying
you look
to
tall.
figure out why is he doing that. Hold on.
Yeah, you got to pull the camera back a little bit. That's, I have to do that sometimes. I'm a little taller.
Okay.
There you go.
You see me now?
There you go. What's going on? Yeah.
All right. Hey there. How you doing?
Man, it's good to see you again.
Likewise.
Well, look, I'm not even going to delay. Let me get into it.
Okay.
We'll be exploring your remarkable journey, diving into your creation, the evolution of your cigar brand. We're going to sit down and talk about your journey tonight, and I welcome you to Conversations with Chevalier. For those of you that don't know who this young lady is with me tonight, she's a very special lady. She is Mel Lashay. She's the owner and creator of Lashays Alluring Smoke and Chicago Smoking Sale. Now, it's a big deal for me to get her to come on. I had to go all the way to Chicago, hit her in the inbox, get her to come out during July 4th weekend, have a cigar with me and my wife, all of this so I could beg her to please come on Conversations with Chevalier. So without further ado, please help me welcome Lashay to Conversations with Chevalier.
Thank you so much for having me. And you did not have to do all of that. It's nothing to get on here. It's just that normally, your Tuesday shows, I go to sleep at 8 o'clock. So
oh man, don't tell nobody else that. Don't tell nobody else that. You wait. Well, hey, I get it though, because you're a mom, a wife. You got a lot going on outside of Chicago Smoking Sale and them Lashays. I mean,
right.
I realize you got your life is hitting you threefold, and so I definitely get that. Yeah. But before we get going, I always ask a few questions. What you smoking tonight?
Right now, I have a Nova Holocerno is what I'm smoking tonight. Yeah.
Nova cigars, great choice. What's your favorite drink when you are smoking a cigar? What do you like to pair with your cigar?
It depends on the time of day. So I am a 3W woman. I like whiskey, water, and wine.
3W.
3Ws. Whiskey, water, and wine. It's one of those three. Right now, I got water.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's a great thing to pair with your cigar. Now, we just covered the smoke. Mm-hmm. We talked about the sip. What kind of music do you like to listen to set the vibe when you smoke?
I'm listening to smooth jazz now. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. But that's what I'm listening to.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Let me turn it up a bit.
Well, you already know. You're a woman after my own heart with that one. If I can't get some Bodie James on, it's going to be a little bit different experience, if I got a little Bodie James on. Now, last question before we get started.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I got a lot. I love
Really?
oysters. Yeah. I love soul food, Asian food. It just depends. Right now, I'm back on my little health kick. So I'm really digging the chopped salads. I never liked it
Really?
before, but I'm really
Really?
digging chopped salad. Like, so now I'm doing like well, what I had today. I had shrimp and what is it called? Scallops in my
Oh,
chopped
okay.
salad, and it was really good.
Okay.
Yep.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. I
Yep.
like that. All right. So, like I said, we met up for the first time. I want to, before we get going, thank you for hosting me and my wife. I want to thank the Windy City Cigar Lounge
Yes.
for rolling out the red carpet for us that night. We had an amazing time. It was
Yeah.
our first time meeting in person,
Yeah.
even though we talked on social media and you've been on the lounge with us
Mhm.
quite a few
Yeah.
times. And but it was my first opportunity, and I knew I wanted to reach out to you. And like I said, I had ulterior motive. I said, man, if I reach out to Mel, I know I can finally get on conversations with Chevalier.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so
Oh
much. I
yeah.
really do.
So let's jump right into
Okay.
it, man. Can you share a little bit of your life before entering the cigar industry?
Yeah. So I have 22 years of healthcare experience. I started off working the floor as a PCT when I was in my teenage years. I went up to be a LPN, and then I left nursing and went into diagnostic imaging. And then I'm now a supervisor over diagnostic imaging, where we handle scheduling. Like, I'm over the schedulers and the access centers of diagnostic imaging, where they schedule the MRIs, the CTs, ultrasounds, and things of that nature.
Man, that's a lot of work,
Yep.
And what's funny about that, because my wife's in healthcare,
Hmm.
there's a high level of passion
Oh
that
yeah,
people possess in the healthcare. Like
absolutely.
y'all, man, y'all, I mean, people say people don't care, but y'all care. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys, every experience I've ever had, I don't care if it's imaging or whatever it's been,
Yeah.
every experience that I've had, surgical teams, man, there's a certain level of, I just call it love that you get, which
Yeah.
you should. When
Yeah.
a lot of people when they go into the hospital, they're afraid and they got a lot of things going on,
Yep.
so you can feel a person's passion. And that's interesting for me because with you, like I said earlier, you're a wife, a mother,
Hmm.
you're in the medical field, like you just described. You got Chicago Smoking Sale, you got Lashays, Alluring Smoke, what you're doing, a lot of different things that we're going to touch on tonight.
Hmm.
How do you maintain your passion, and what drives you, to keep your passion? How do you do it? Because that's a lot.
It is. What drives my passion? So I love cigars. So that is something that doesn't really feel like work until I'm
Hmm.
hosting an event, right? So I really enjoy it. It'll get me up out of the bed at 2 o'clock in the morning with an idea. And I don't really consider that work, but I do have to set out a schedule so I cannot go crazy with different ideas. Set out a time for just husband and wife time. Make sure I'm attentive for my daughter and my son, and then I have a grandmother that I have to see, oversee as well. It is a lot.
Mm.
It really is. So, but I know I make it look really easy. And I think sometimes
Yeah,
people can
obviously.
take that for granted because I make it look real easy, but it's hard. It's a lot.
It must be that Midwest girl tenacity that y'all possess up there. Because, like, we talked about it. I'm from that
Right.
area, from Gary, and the people in our area.
Yeah.
We do things a little
Right.
different. In the Marine Corps, we call it intestinal
Mm.
fortitude. We forge on, and like you said, we're organized. Not me. I
Hmm.
lost the organized gene. It didn't hit me like it probably hit you. If I had all that going on, I'd be struggling. But
Listen.
let me hey, hey, I don't see how
Yeah.
you do it. What things in your lifestyle now do you think contributed to you going into the cigar culture?
My husband. So,
Really?
yep, he got me into it. He's always been a cigar smoker. I would just play with
Hmm.
him, take pictures with him or whatever. When he decided to come out with his own cigar brand, that's when I got to learn about everything, and fell in love with it in short. And he was the one who encouraged me to start my own cigar brand. So I assisted him with getting into a lot of different events and things of that nature, like with vending and things of that nature. And while networking, we networked all the different cigar weeks, Atlanta, Houston, well, before Houston, but Atlanta was the first one we went to. And it was so many people that had never been to the city of Chicago. And so
Wow.
we were like, you know what, if one more person say that they have not been to the city of Chicago, we're going to go ahead and have something. So that was the driving force for Chicago Smoke and Sale. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so Chicago Smoke and Sale was your first, basically your entry point into the cigar culture, right?
No. Lashays Alluring Smoke. My cigar brand was. So they kind of went hand in hand. So here's the thing. Lashays Alluring Smoke, it kicked off. We started off during COVID. So during COVID, that's when I came out with it. However, I didn't launch it until 2021. Okay. So once I launched in 2021, Octavia from Her Ficiando put out the Black-owned brand, cigar brands. I was listed in there. So that jumpstart Lashays Alluring Smoke. And so that's how people got to know about my cigar brand. 2022, no, that was the early part of 2021. That was like February, March, right, when she came out with that. And then September of 2021, we went to Atlanta Cigar Week. And that's when the whole Chicago Smoke and Sale thing came around, that idea. And then in 2022, of June of 2022, that's when we had our first Chicago Smoke and Sale. Yep.
Well, so going back to Lashays Alluring Smoke. So when you started Lashays Alluring Smoke, what was the goal of it? Was the goal just to create events, or were you initially trying to have your own cigar brand?
See, I didn't even want to have it at all. So that was all Boogie. Boogie wanted me to have my own cigar brand because, okay, so I guess I was trying to do it in short. So the thing of it was, Boogie, of course, had his own cigar brand. That's how I learned about the whole cigar business, everything. And so a lot of times he wouldn't even have sales at private events until I lit my first cigar. I would light my cigar, and it was attracting to men and women that didn't even smoke cigars. And it was this one older lady in particular that came up to me during an event, and she was like, girl, you smoking that? It is so alluring, and it just dawned on me, that name just stuck with me, right? And so Boogie was like, babe, you need to just come on out with your own line, So at first I just did the infused cigars. I have 3 infused cigars. And then I was like, okay, my palate has changed since then. I don't smoke them, so I need me a premium stick. And so from that, I created the 8748, which is my premium stick.
Wow. What was your biggest challenge kicking that off, though? What would you say was your biggest challenge kicking that off? Because you new to the culture at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I know, but you had a leg up because Boogie was doing his thing.
Exactly.
And for those of y'all don't know, that's her husband. I'm sure most of y'all know, but Boogie was doing his thing, and so that was actually the leg in. But what was your biggest challenge getting that going?
The note to the cigar. What did I want people to smoke? What did I want at the time? So it was like, do I want something that's going to be from my palate or palates of others, right? So when we would do events, I would ask different people, what is it that you like about your cigar? What is it that you would like to see in a new cigar? And taking those notes from different people, I just went ahead and based it on my own personal palate, because a lot of folks was like here, there, and everywhere with it. I wanted something for everyday, anytime smoke, not just a full body cigar that you can't have in the morning with your cup of coffee or with your cup of tea. And so that was my main goal, was just to have an everyday mild to medium smoke cigar. But that was a challenge because I had to really think about it. You know what I'm saying? So, but
and
now,
you were new.
Exactly.
You were new too.
Right.
So you were kind of learning as you were developing, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, exactly. But now I'm in the process of coming out with my full body cigar that should launch in February of this upcoming year. Yep.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That I'm glad to hear that. It's cool, to see women getting in and starting brands. You're smoking Nova, right now, which
Yep.
is a woman-owned brand. You got all these different groups like the Sister of the Leaf
Mm-hmm.
Global Movement. You got Chicks and Sticks. You just,
Yeah.
you can go forever. You
Absolutely.
got Puffin' Pretty
Mm-hmm.
with Nicole Townsend and every, you got all these ladies that are
Yeah.
coming into the culture.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that the culture is ready? And I'm gonna jump around a little bit because
Yeah.
I
No
told
problem.
you this is a
Right.
conversation. So I have questions, but this is a conversation. I got to get right to it.
Okay.
How do you feel the culture receives women? How do you feel the cigar culture receives women? Because you mentioned when you first started smoking,
Mm-hmm.
and the lady came up to you and she said, "Oh, it's alluring to
Mm-hmm.
see you, smoking." Do you feel like there's an unfair, I don't want to say expectation, but do you feel like the culture is not as accepting of women as it should be, or do you feel like the culture is open with wide arms and and that's causing women to want to come into the culture more?
For the most part, I think we are welcomed. I haven't came into too many instances whereas it was like a hard no. I have,
Hmm.
however, came into an instance whereas because I'm married, no, I don't have a chance with you, no. You know what I'm saying? You
Oh
do
wow.
get to, yeah, you get where people try to pull it. They want to see how far they can go with you. And I'm not selling nothing else but these cigars.
I know
So
that's
if you think it,
right.
if you're thinking there's something more to that, then I'm sorry, I'm not the brand for you. I'm okay.
I
But
know that's right.
ultimately, I haven't had any other issues than that. And the only thing I can say though is that because we have so many women in leadership in the cigar industry, we have a lot of people flock to the same people. And so what I did was I created the Cigar Queens of the Midwest last year, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
we're doing our second annual this year in October. And so what I'm doing is highlighting women-owned businesses in the cigar industry throughout the Midwest, just so we can all know what these women are doing because it's a lot of hard working women in the cigar industry that's really making a name for themselves. However, you don't hear about them because you're hearing about the same women over and over and over again. And it can get a little oversaturated. However, you want to give these women their flowers while they're here. And that's my whole goal is to do that. Just shed some light on these women owned lounge owners, these mobile cigar lounge owners, the brand owners, and things of that nature.
I think I saw some of the posts from last time. You had the young lady from Kansas City,
Paula?
and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you had her there.
Yep.
You had, I believe, Christine Morgan was there.
She was
Was
not
she up
there at
there?
this one.
Was
She
she
was here
not
for
there?
Smoke and Sale. She was here for
Okay,
Smoke and Sale this
okay.
year. Yeah, but Paula, she's a part of it again this year. I'm bringing back, I only brought back three queens from last year. And then I got
Hmm.
all new other panelists. And then I'm also bringing in Cigar Kings of the Midwest to
I
join
saw
us.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yep.
I really want to be a part of it. I know
Yeah.
we just talked about that the
Right.
other day. I kind of want to be a part of it, but
Yeah.
we might have to revisit that, off
Absolutely.
the air again. We're
Right,
gonna have to
right,
revisit that. But
right.
I like the idea, and I was thinking about it the other day. And what I find interesting that you're bringing that with the Cigar Kings. I'm interested to see how that is from a woman's perspective.
Right.
What your
Yeah.
vision is gonna bring us.
Right.
And to be real, for me, it's all about unity.
Absolutely.
And growing the culture across the board. And the other night, because we do the lounge, we
Yeah.
had a conversation on there, and a guy brought up about how he felt that women were kind of like oversaturating the culture in a negative
Mm.
way. And I, most of us didn't agree with that.
Okay.
He mentioned some things about the way they dress and coming into the
Mm-hmm.
lounge, but I personally feel like women add value to the culture. But do you think there's a certain segment of women that affect the culture negatively by the way they portray themselves? I don't. I,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's to each his own.
Right.
But what's your thoughts on that?
I agree. And that's with men and women.
Hmm.
You can have men that doesn't dress the part just as well. You can have women, but you can't judge them. You never know what type of day they could have had. You do have some people like I'm taking myself, for example, when you saw me, I had on a baseball jersey. and some faux leather shorts, right? And some Jordans. But then you
I
can see
think
me.
so.
I did, right? You
Nah,
know,
you
with a
did.
ponytail. Like, you never know with me. I go with a baseball cap, then it'll be something where I have on a dress. I can have on a ball gown. You just never know. So I just dress as how I feel, right?
Hmm.
Whatever mood I'm in, that's how I dress. But I don't think that people should be judgmental. We don't know what's in these people's closets. And that's just what I feel, you know.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like it. I'm here for it. I think there's too much judgment going on right now,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
and I think some people. I don't know if you agree, but I think the idea that people are acting that way could actually it is actually hurting the
Yeah.
culture. You got a lot of people that don't feel welcome though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Men and women don't feel welcome, and it can be based on
Yeah.
color, gender, whatever. How is it with you guys? I know down in the South here things are a little
Hmm.
different, but in Chicago it's a pretty progressive city. It's
Hmm.
like a melting pot. So when you have your events, are your events kind of multicultural, or what are your events like? And I'll say, what are your events like, and what
Hmm.
is the goal for your events as it
Okay.
relates to the type of people that attend?
So my cigar queens of the Midwest is multicultural. Now, Smoke and Sale is predominantly Black.
Hmm.
We could have some Latinos that did come
Hmm.
the year before, but other than that, it's predominantly Black people. But Cigar Queens is definitely multicultural, and then we are partnered with Sisters of the Leaf Global Movement. And so they bring in their team of people as well. So, and we
Hmm.
created good relationships with the people that they brought on. And yeah, so we just try to get to everybody
I
that way.
like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Would
Hmm.
Would you say that was probably your most key collaboration with Sister of the Leaf Global Movement, or have you had some other collaborations with other groups or entities to try to grow Chicago Smoke and Sale?
Absolutely. So what we do is we use different Chicago groups. In Chicago, we have over 30 cigar groups.
Wow.
Yeah. Everybody's in a group. Everybody's in a group. So it wasn't until December of last year that I was appointed as deputy mayor of GTG, Chicago South. And
Hmm.
so I'm on like a trial period. I told her I was going to do a trial of a year and see how I like it because I have so much other things going on. But what I do is I have events and then I ask different cigar groups to host those events so that they can get their name out there more. People can know who they are since we do a lot of different videos and things of that nature. I like to highlight pretty much everybody. So what I did last year, I highlighted all the women's cigar groups in the city of Chicago. Since that was my first Cigar Queens of the Midwest, I wanted to pay homage to my city, right? So this year,
Right.
the second year coming along, I'm not doing just Chicago. I'm doing all Midwest women groups. And then I'll have one for all men groups. And then the few
Wow.
that we do have co-ed, I'll add them as well. And I put it in my program so everybody can know who to reach out to when they're in the different cities. I also list the different lounges that are women owned, you know. So it'll be a little different this time since we are adding the Kings. Um, but it's going to be maybe like a 30-page booklet now instead of 15 pages. But it's okay.
And I can see the work too. And I recently caught hold of the fact I started noticing that you're taking on ambassadors.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
how did you start that process? Like what is the goal of taking on ambassadors?
Yeah.
People should
So,
know that, but I asked the question anyway. What's your vision
right.
as it relates to your ambassadors?
Yeah. So, my ultimate goal to create ambassadors is to help promote the brand. So let's say if I can't make it to a certain city or state and I have someone in that city or state to do an event, they can do it for me. And that's pretty much just it, just to get it out there more now that I'm back full focus for my cigars. Because at first I could have took a
Hmm.
little back seat, right? It was too much that I was doing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting on these sticks. I need to just go ahead and get it going. So I was
Right.
like, let me give me an ambassador that can, help me fulfill these goals, put it out there one day, and received a lot of responses. And so I just narrowed it down to 6 people. And I'm like, well, we'll start off with this hot 6 and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, saw a couple of them
Yeah.
too. I think I saw my girl out of Atlanta, uh,
Laura.
Road Smoking Queen. Um,
Yeah. Laura.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Laura. Laura
Mm-hmm.
Lee Purple.
Yep.
Laura Lee Purple. That's I call
Yeah.
her by her whole name. Yeah, I'm big about that. I call her by the
Yeah.
whole name. You know, as Kia McLean, the poet on here. You know, if I'm talking to
Yeah.
y'all, call y'all by your
Right.
whole name. But
Right.
Laura
Right.
Lee is an amazing, amazing woman
Yeah.
that manages. She's been
Okay.
here a couple times, and we've connected both times that she's come here, and
Nice.
we smoked and had a great time.
Okay.
Met her some time ago, and then I saw one of my favorite Sisters of the Least, Lady Cigarillo.
Cigarillo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
from
Yep.
Canada.
Yep.
Let me tell you
Yep.
something. When I first jumped on the scene, I started seeing her posts. I'd be like, this girl be killing the game. And
Doesn't she?
she the
Yes.
one that started me doing the stuff with the slow smoke, you know.
Okay. Okay.
She always got the slow smoke
Yeah.
going, you
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
always liked that.
Yeah.
She's fly.
She is.
But what was your like what was your criteria in choosing your ambassadors? Like what was the main thing that you wanted them? Oh, well, I tell you what, as you
Mhm.
chose those ladies, what was it about each one of those ladies individually, if you don't mind telling me, that made you say this person fits what where we're going?
So I went to well, I knew Lady Cigarillo. So I was so shocked when she even wanted to do it. I thought she was just playing. So I was like, girl, is you for real? I was honored. So it was like a little, what do you call it? A little fan on fan thing. We're fan of each
Yeah,
other. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm like, whatever you got going on, I'm gonna repost your things, and that's just how that went. She's self-explanatory, right? She has
Yeah.
her own platform and things
Oh
of that
yeah.
nature. Yep. So I believe that Laura was referred by one of my cigar queens, if I'm not mistaken. And when
Hmm.
she reached out to me, I went to her profile and I was like, okay, she got a good following. People are commenting, things of that nature. I reached out to a couple of people that I know. They was like, yeah, she's the go. Talk to her. I said, let's do it. And then she referred Joey and Dave
I
and
saw that.
talked to them. Yeah, so she referred me to them. That was dope. We was on a Zoom for I don't know how long. The Zoom went out, had to go back in, all of that. It was good. It was perfect. It was perfect. Yep, yep. And
I like
then
it.
yeah, so then I have another young lady named Cree. She's here in Chicago. Now Cree's in the
Hmm.
process of starting her own cigar lounge. We met when I did Smoke and Sale the first year.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so her platform is not as big as everyone else's. However, this is something that's going to get her feet wet so that when she does open her cigar lounge, I'm going to introduce her to a lot more of what's going on. And then
Wow.
I have
Wow.
another one, which is a surprise that's coming up tomorrow.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yep.
Text me before you announce it so I can be
Right, right,
right there
right.
on the page
Yeah.
so I can see it. Because, I've been trying to go back and reshare a lot of your stuff,
Yeah.
especially after talking to you, you know, um, over the last couple of years, we've
Yeah.
messaged and I've been wanting to come and there's never been an opportune time
Right.
for me to come. But
Yeah.
next year I will be at Chicago Smoke and Sale. Ray and I are also talking about shooting the lounge live from up there. So we'll
And that'll
we'll
be
we'll
perfect.
talk to you about that.
Yeah.
And I know you wanted us to do it this year.
Yeah.
We couldn't pull it off, but next year, next year, I'm gonna be there, man. I haven't been out on the water in on Lake Michigan in 25 years, so
Oh
I'm
man.
ready to get back home and
Yeah.
and get out there and get it. So, what are some of the activities for Chicago Smoke and Sale? How's that kind of laid out? What are people are a lot of people coming in on boats, or people just
Mhm.
coming and you've got some charters? How does that work?
So everyone pretty much coming in, they flying in or driving in. The actual boat party, of course, is on Lake Michigan. I used a
Hmm.
different boat this year because what I did was we were asking people what did they want from different from the first year. And so everyone was saying they wanted something to eat. They wanted food. Let's eat on this boat. We only here for 4 hours, right? So we
Right.
chose the Spirit of Navy Pier Yacht, where they serve a 3 course or a 5 course meal. One of the two, I can't remember. Um,
Hmm.
and then you have, of course, the big old rooftop with the bar and everything, cash bar. And yeah, I haven't had anyone that came in on a boat, but that's dope if someone would come in on a boat. That would be real
Because
dope.
I'm thinking when I think Chicago smoking sale, that's what I'm thinking. Like if you had some people that came in on their boat,
That would have been
and
dope.
maybe had a little cigar fair out at the marina on Lakeshore
Yeah.
Drive, something like that, or I think that'd be pretty. Because
Yeah.
that's how I envisioned it.
Yeah.
That's how I envisioned it.
You know, so we were talking about doing something like the playpen. I'm not sure if you familiar with the playpen here in Chicago.
Mm-mm, no.
So it's when if you have your own personal yacht, you have a whole bunch of other people that have their own yacht. They go right into the middle of Lake Michigan. You tie your boats up together and you just party. Everybody just go to everybody's yacht. You drinking, partying, dancing, whatever. It's different type of music. Got a DJ out there. They have the water slides and all that good stuff. So we were talking about doing that. However, we didn't have enough yachts, to make that happen. And then for private yacht charters, it's way more expensive than getting a bigger
Right.
yacht, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then you have to make sure that you have enough captains, to sail those boats.
Right.
But maybe we can do something whereas we have like a good 5 to 6 people that have their own yacht. Maybe we can do it like that. And that can be something for maybe our VIP guests or something to that nature. Sounds good. I think
I got an idea. That's we don't have a lot of water here.
Right.
We don't have a lot of water here, but what we do have, you have the Black Boaters Society here.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of man-made lakes in the Dallas area.
Right.
Dallas Metroplex. And so a lot of these guys travel.
Okay.
They'll travel. Maybe you can reach out to some of these because I've seen maybe a couple of get some of them, bring them in, maybe you can work out something like that. Because man, when I first thought about Chicago smoking sale, I said this is gonna be a thing, man. I'm gonna come up here. It's gonna be boats tied, because that's exactly what I envisioned.
Yeah.
Boats tied off,
Right.
people walking from boats to boats.
Yeah.
They smoking, or just chopping it up and getting to know each other.
We giving out too many ideas on this live.
Let me chill.
That's too many ideas.
I got excited.
We do that. And
we gotta do that one on
you. It was
phone.
your idea. Chevalier.
Hey, look, anything to see the culture grow, anything to see the culture grow.
Yeah.
So how do you see talking about growth of the culture, how do you see the culture evolving in the next, 3 to 5 years?
Well, okay. I don't want the men to get mad, but I think us women is taking over.
Hey, this is the place where they find out. This is the place where they get some reality checks. So
I really think that we're taking over. Women are bringing in a different type of energy to the cigar culture. We bring in the vibes, we set the tone. When we walk in the room, it's ours, we own it, right? And I just really think that, with all the hard work and dedication that those before us put in, it's now starting to come into fruition. And I really think that we're going to be taking over. I really do. No offense.
No,
guys.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking at groups like Sister of the Leaf Global Movement. And, there's a lot of the influencers. The amount of women influencers is like, even in the last year, I've seen so many women come out that weren't even smoking cigars 12 months ago.
Right.
And, they got 40,000, 50,000 followers.
Right.
And, they promoting brands and stuff where they're still learning about cigars. And I guess it's, when you see a beautiful lady, beautiful woman on, and she's got that look and she's smoking a cigar, like you said, she's being alluring.
Right.
It's something about that kind of sets the vibe, So I think it's great to see it. The funny thing is that it's all kinds of women. It's not just black women, or because at first I would see a lot of white women. I started seeing more Hispanic women than black women, but it's just women across the board that are kind of moving the needle and stuff. So when you think about moving the needle, as a woman, what do you feel that you could do better? What do you feel, how do you feel about what you're doing and what you could do better to, improve the culture personally?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can always do a lot more better, right? With educating. I can do a lot more with promoting more brands and things of that nature. But right now, I'm just really trying to highlight those that people are not aware of, and then
Hmm.
giving the flowers to the ones that we do know. I always make it a point to pay homage to who inspired me, right?
Hmm.
So, like I said, when we were at Atlanta Cigar Week, I was inspired from Octavia. She was actually the last person I said, if one more person say they haven't been to Chicago, we was gonna do it, and it was her, right?
Wow. Wow.
Yep. And then you got Crystal from Houston Cigar Week. I love Crystal. You know,
Sharp
I'm very inspired by
lady.
her.
Sharp lady.
Absolutely love it. And then here in Chicago, we have Jillian Stewart from Bernard Terrell Cigars. And what they do is they have a cigars in the park here in Chicago every year. This year they had it. It was a 6-year anniversary this year, and it's huge. It's the biggest picnic that we have here, cigar picnic in Chicago. Very inspired, very down to earth person, and I always make it a point to pay homage to them. I always make it a point to say I appreciate you. Not just them, anybody that I come in contact with that I love and appreciate, because a lot of times you don't know what your words can say or do to
That's
a person. You know what I'm
true.
saying?
That is
So
real
many
talk.
people, they don't know that you just telling them that you are appreciated, how much they will, receive that. Putting on events and just being a brand owner, it is hard work. And you receive so many critics before you will receive a compliment. And
That's
I just
true.
like to do, that's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? I really
Yeah.
like to just say, hey, I see what you're doing. I appreciate it. And we may not talk every day, we may not talk every month, but I see you, sis. You doing your thing, and I'm here for it. I'm learning from you.
I like
Yeah,
that. I like
yeah.
that. Let me ask you an important question though.
Okay.
Do you give yourself flowers? Do you give yourself some grace when you out here, or are you constantly, grinding and
I
saying, I
really
got to
don't.
do it this way.
Yeah,
You don't give yourself grace?
I don't. I really don't. But my husband do. He'd be like, "Babes, you're doing a good job," because I'll be ready to throw in the towel in a minute. I really do, but I don't.
I can't
That
see
is a
that.
good
I
question.
can't
I
see
don't.
that.
I do.
I can't see it.
You so ready to quit.
Man, look, you remember when we were at Windy City that night?
Yeah,
I can't see
yeah,
that because
yeah,
we were at Windy City that night.
yeah.
We were smoking, right?
Right.
And one of the things I found really interesting
Mm-hmm.
when we were out on the patio, for those of you that have not been to Windy City Cigar Lounge on
You
the
have to
south
go.
side of Chicago, um, I left there feeling like a king. And I was so excited because the vibe on the inside was just dope. And the
Mm-hmm.
owner was actually standing outside when I parked my car.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really liked about it, so they're doing all of this building
Right.
across the street.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey man, I introduced myself to him."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you coming to meet my girl? Yeah. Hey man, uh, park where you at. They really don't like us to, but if there's an issue, I'll come get you. We'll move the
Mm-hmm.
car." And
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool
Yeah.
because you go to a lot of places, they're only worried about what's going on the inside of their lounge.
Exactly.
They
Yep.
don't care if they as long as you buying cigars, they
Yep.
don't care if your
Yeah.
car get towed outside because
Absolutely.
they don't have a big parking lot. And so just
Right.
even that
Yeah.
right there. But what I
Yeah.
noticed about you, when you walked in the lounge
Mm-hmm.
from out on the patio, and me and my wife was out there, you
Mm-hmm.
commanded the room quietly. And then when we went out on the patio, we sat down,
Mm-hmm.
you commanded the lounge. You commanded the patio. And it seemed like the coolest thing because it was like, okay, she's got that, I almost use the word, she's got that je ne sais quoi. She's got that thing where, because I
Aw.
remember I met the guy, Isaiah. Is it Isaiah?
Yeah. On
Is this
here.
his guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, on
Mm-hmm.
here, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got to talking. Next thing I know, a lot of lounges I go in, men are reluctant to speak to men that they don't
Right.
know. I don't know what
Right.
that is.
Yeah.
But I felt like because you were sitting there with
Mm-hmm.
me, everybody was coming up and they might have, I said, well, maybe they friends of Boogie. They trying to see who this
Right.
uncle
Right.
is and sit with his wife. I don't know. But,
Right. Yeah. They
but
like the big brothers.
I
They gonna
felt
check
so
it out.
welcome. I
That's
felt
good.
welcome, man.
Good.
And I could feel that coming through you, and another thing about you, because I'm gonna give you some flowers.
Thank
Man, it's rare
you. Mm-hmm.
that you get a woman. Now I was with my wife, but even if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't,
Yeah.
it's rare that somebody, because the way we were communicating, y'all were out of town, you were coming back. You
Yeah.
know, it's rare that somebody with all that you had going on that weekend would take the time out to kind of, because you hosted me
Yeah.
basically,
Oh.
and you know, I really really appreciate that, and that's that you don't see that. People are
Yeah.
so cautious
Yeah.
about, especially, and women have to be,
Right.
but they so cautious about, okay, this man coming to town. It wasn't
Right.
none of that. We just we connected
Yeah.
and we had a great time, man. And it
Absolutely.
was so I
We
gotta
did.
give you your flowers. I
Oh,
gotta pay some homage to you,
appreciate
you know.
it.
But back
Thank you. I
to the
appreciate it.
conversation though.
Back to it.
So
Mm-hmm.
we talked about M. Lashay's Alluring Smoke. We talked about Chicago Smoke and Sale. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about some of the things that maybe I won't say aren't so glamorous, but the things that you have to deal with your events. Like one of the things I noticed is, like, I think Chicago Cigar Week was starting the
Mm-hmm.
next week. So how does Chicago Smoke and Sale and Chicago Cigar Week interact? Is there unity with that, or do you feel like it's like one event against the other? I know it shouldn't be that way, and you expressed to me that it shouldn't be.
Right. It should
But
be. Yeah.
do you feel like it's a cohesive thing where one event supports this one and then the other?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see you being supportive, but do you feel you receive that same support from, say, Chicago Cigar Week?
Not from the founder. So we did support Chicago Cigar Week the last 3 years. This was the first year we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. We were trying to combine them because the ultimate goal was just to put on for our city, right?
Right.
So Smoke and Sale was first in the same year. We both came out the same year, just a month apart. And the second year, which was last year, we tried to come together and join together, but it just didn't work. It just
Mm-hmm.
didn't fit for whatever reason. However, we still supported them, but we didn't get that in return, not from the founder, but some of the
Okay.
board members. One of the board members did come out to Smoke and Sale for one of the events,
Okay.
which is fine. You know, not to say too much, but I don't know. I think in some instances, some men does have an issue with women in leadership. But again,
That's true.
that, you know, and they don't want to hear from a woman's perspective. So with that being said, we just have to not do it because it just didn't work out. It was too many chiefs, and we couldn't come up with something that was logical for us to combine. But yeah, I was even on the panel last year with
Mm-hmm.
at Chicago Cigar Week. I've always supported them. Yeah, this was the first
That's
year.
cool.
Yep.
I think that that's something that culture wide
Hmm.
is a issue. You know, like people
Yeah.
don't. It becomes a competition when, and if everybody's on the same page and you're looking at it the right way, you can see that, you know, support,
Yeah.
because they say support should be free, but when you
Right.
support other, you know, initiatives and things like that, it only serves to grow the culture as a whole. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
I think people forget that,
Yep.
you know, right now there's an attack on the cigar culture. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in government that don't want the cigar culture to grow. You know, you got the
Absolutely.
cigarette industry that's doing its
Yep.
thing
Right.
behind the scenes, and you got
Hmm.
groups like CRA, Cigar Rights of America, that are fighting these laws that people
Yep.
are you know, lobbying for behind the scenes. And I
Yeah.
think they don't realize that when we don't band together, man, and find a creative way
Hmm.
to work together, we might as well be supporting our detractors or the people that are against us, you know. And I think
Absolutely.
it's kind of scary,
Hmm.
you know. Here in the DFW, um, you know, we've got Dallas Smoke Fest coming up, and
Yep.
you've got a group of people that came together from, you know, Nikki Moore. I think you know
Everywhere.
Nikki Morris. Yeah,
Hmm.
they came from everywhere
Yeah.
to put this thing together. I'm an ambassador, and one of the
Hmm.
reasons that I signed on as an ambassador is because I felt like finally this is a unified effort to do, like you said, put on for your city, put on
Hmm.
for the city of Dallas, you know,
Yeah.
and show Dallas as a place that it can be a destination for cigars. And
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that, you know, you guys will get an opportunity to realize that. But
Yeah.
hey, if you don't, you know, M. Lashay's Alluring Smoke and Chicago Smoke and Sale, gonna run off and do what he do, you
Right,
know?
right. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have any advice? Can you share some advice for aspiring entrepreneurs, especially women in the cigar culture that want to start, you know, being a part of this culture and they want to create a Lashays
Hmm.
or Chicago smoking sale? What advice would you give them initially?
Do your research, 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 research. Um, and even the name, right? Because I had to
Hmm.
send out a couple of cease and desist because people will take something and run with it. It's been so many different people that been putting the smoking sale at the end of whatever it is that they're doing. And so I
Hmm.
would see it if I do see it, I would say, hey, this is a trademark name. Smoke and sale cannot go together for a cruise at all. So do your research. Make sure nobody owns that name or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if it's for a cigar brand, to start your own cigar line, talk to factories, ask them what is their minimum order quantity, how soon would the turnaround be, ask them about customs and things of that nature, and how long the process is. You really have to learn your seed and soils. It's a lot, and you have to be prepared to smoke a lot, a whole lot, until you get what it is that you want, for your cigars. But business
That's cool.
itself, yeah, you have to have a passion for it. A lot of people tell you to go ahead and people like a story behind whatever it is that you do. I say just be honest, be honest because you will never
Hmm.
forget,
Yeah,
lies, you're
you
going to
never
forget what you
forget the
said,
truth.
right?
Yeah,
You're going to forget
yeah,
what you
you never
said
forget the
and what it is
truth.
you're doing, but
Hmm.
the truth is, it's easy.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Hmm.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something. I'm gonna kind of go back to the beginning of our conversation
Okay.
because after talking to you, it makes me want to go back and ask you this question. You're a young male
Hmm.
growing up in the Midwest. Did you ever see yourself where you are today?
Mm-mm. Nope. I didn't. You always could dream of things, but then, you know, I didn't even want to be a wife. Can we start there? I never believed in
Really?
marriage.
Yeah, I told you this is a conversation. This is a conversation. Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Go ahead.
Like I never believed in marriage, unfortunately, coming from a family of broken marriages, right? So I was really tough on being guarded. And um and then when you bring that wall down of being guarded and you get disappointed or your heart get broken, it was like, see, I knew that was going to happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? You just have that in the back of your head. However, I was blessed to have my now husband change my mind, and it's a beautiful thing going into 11 years this upcoming year of
Wow.
marriage. Yep. But so let's say that. Nope, never thought I'd be married. I could share something else personal with you. So after I had my son at an early age. I was 18.
Hmm.
And after I had my son, I was pregnant. My son was really big, right? So I was about 98 pounds. I kid you not, when I got pregnant. In my ninth month, I was 126 pounds. My son was 10 pounds, 8 ounces, 26 inches long. Big baby. Needless to say, he messed my uterus
Wait.
up. Right. So I
Hmm.
couldn't carry kids after him.
Hmm.
So I was thinking about adoption and all this other stuff because I didn't want him to grow up by himself, suffered all these different miscarriages. And then God blessed me with my husband. And this was all by my son's father, all those miscarriages. And then right before me and my husband got married, I had a miscarriage. And
Wow.
then once we got married, my blessing, my baby, my rainbow baby
Baby
came.
girl.
She's here,
Baby
right?
girl.
And it's
Right.
so crazy because when I got pregnant with her, I just knew what they was gonna tell me. I'm like, okay, what we doing? I already know it ain't gonna happen. I was already mentally prepared for it. And they was
Right.
like, well, this is looking different. This is looking promising. I didn't want to see an ultrasound. I wouldn't let people post me on social media because I just didn't know. So that's
Right.
another thing. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not about business, but my personal life, yeah. So um I didn't ever think I would have another kid, and I do. So now I have two kids, and they're 16 years apart, and I have a boy.
Yeah, I remember you told me about her too.
Yeah,
Like she is the she the Spitfire in the house. And I
Yeah.
remember when we connected that night, you
Yeah.
know, I expected to meet your husband. You was like, no, you know, he got to go to work tomorrow. We got to
Right.
drive it. He said
Yeah.
he's just gonna stay home with the baby
Right.
girl. And I thought that was cool in a fan. But to speak to that, what you're saying, you know, it's funny. I was married
Mm-hmm.
before you know I had a wife before my wife that you met, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I think it all speaks to where we are in our present time, that the past journey, you know, certain things just don't work out. And
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know if you can say it's God
Yeah.
or it's God's will, or if whatever it is, I believe that there's a plan or a design for all of our lives, that, you
Absolutely.
know, all of the different experiences we have culminate, you know, and come together to put us where we are today. So I can only
Absolutely.
imagine with all of the, because I can only imagine that that was painful, you know, physically and emotionally
Yeah.
to have miscarriages like that. But you got to think, man, like, let's say you had all those kids. First of all,
Would have been
let's say you had
terrible.
all those kids,
Right.
and
Right.
then we may not be experiencing Chicago Smoke and Sale or
Mm-hmm.
Lashays Alluring Smoke. A lady might not have walked up to you one day and saw you in the lounge
Yeah.
with your husband now and
Yeah.
said, you know, that looks alluring
Right.
to me. A lot of things came together for
Yeah.
your good
Right.
later on. And so
Absolutely.
a lot of times when I look at some of the things I've been through, because I had a challenging childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and went through some things as a young man before, you know, I became the person that I am today. But although I hate those things and
Mm-hmm.
they put me in a place sometimes, I got to think to myself, had I never done that, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be doing what I
Right.
love right now, which is sitting here
Absolutely.
having a
Yeah.
conversation, you know, smoking a cigar,
Yeah.
living the Chevalier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And so, I mean, all I can say to you is, hey, you did the damn thing. You persevered and you got out here. You created something special for the culture that nobody else is doing. You have
Right.
your, although there are plenty of people that are plenty of women, men
Mm-hmm.
that are doing events. There's
Mm-hmm.
only one M. Lashays Alluring Smoke, and there's only one Chicago Smoke and Sale. So bravo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, bravo is what it is. Now, when I was talking to you earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you was like, "Don't grill me too hard," and I
Right.
told you this is just a conversation. You know,
Easy.
it's a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time for people to come together. You know, here the idea of conversations with Chevalier is just that. I don't want to sit down and talk about blends. We can.
Right.
We could talk about
Right.
cigars. We could talk
Right.
about, you know, how you came up with the special blend,
Right.
and is it Nicaraguan and
Mm-hmm.
Steli, or you got Cameroon. We could talk about
Right.
all of that. But
Yeah.
when people want to know about the brand and they're looking at the brand and they're going, okay, what passion went into this cigar?
Yeah.
Or why is she moving to throw me such an amazing event?
Mm-hmm.
When they hear your story and the things you've been through, I know for me right now, I'm like, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get why she's not afraid to walk into a room full of men and captivate and own the room. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about her, you know, selling sexuality, because
Right.
it's not about that. And you're a beautiful woman. But
Thank you.
the thing that I got from you was the confidence that goes to M. Lachey, into male.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced the confidence. I remember telling my wife that was so nice of her. And then you recommended restaurants, which we did go. We
Good.
did go. The
Yeah.
the what was it? The Italian, whatever it was, the
Truth.
soul food.
Truth
What did
Italian
she call it?
restaurant.
That?
Truth
Man, let me tell
Italian.
you something. That food was so good down there, man. I made a happy plate. I had my plate up,
Happy place.
and I was sitting there like I just was,
Okay. Look.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah. You know we got
I
some restaurants up
man,
there. Mm-hmm.
say that place was amazing. And we got up and went to breakfast, and then we, you know, took a boat ride because my wife is, you know, she a tourist. I'm not a
Yeah.
tourist.
Right. Right. Right.
And so I remember telling her, man, I got to hit her up and say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, you made our trip an amazing trip. I think it turned on a dime just because of the time you took with us. So, you know, more
Oh,
flowers for you. I got to
oh,
give it to
thank you
you.
so much. I'm glad I was able to help. I
Yes,
really am.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. And, you know, that speaks volumes about what you're trying to do with your company, with your brand. You know, anybody that's watching this should be able to feel it through the screen, the type of person that they're dealing with and the type of experience that they're going to receive when they come to Chicago Smoke and Sale or Cigar Queens of the Midwest, Cigar Kings of the Midwest. But I want to go back to those. Cigar Queens of the Midwest. Without you divulging too much, what do they have to look forward to? Because that's coming up here in you know, a very short period of time. So what should the ladies, to anybody that attends it, what should be the biggest thing? What is the biggest experience that you want them to get from it this time?
So it depends. So if you're in the business or looking to come into business, I say make sure that you're at our panelist event. And that's on Saturday, October 12th from 1 to 4 at Windy City Cigar Lounge. If you're looking to put on some clothes and have on your Sunday's best, that is going to be our Meet the Kings and Queens Royal Ball. And that's going to be on Friday, October 11th. And then we're doing a farewell tailgate on Sunday, October 13th. So you got options. We have an after smoke on the panelist event on Saturday the 12th. So that's just like laid back, whatever. But if you're really looking to learn more about how to start your business, how these people are excelling in their businesses, the panelist event is for you. But I think everything is going to be very nice. Last year, it was amazing. Amazing. We had such a great turnout. I couldn't be more proud. So I'm already looking forward to this year. It's free. You only pay your 2 cigar minimum at these lounges. However, if you want, however, if you want a VIP experience, whereas you have, reserved seating at different events, and you want a tasting of whatever spirit brand of that day, and we do have tickets that you can purchase for that. And the link is in the Chicago, all the different pages. I have the link up there. So you can just go to any of my pages, Lashays. You can go to the Cigar Queens or the Cigar Kings page on Facebook and Instagram. Click the link. Say, I want to be VIP. If not, just show up and we're going to take care of you. One thing I can say about me. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I'm listening.
One thing I can say about me and Boogie, when we do put on events, we are very personable with everyone as much as we can be. And there's some comments on our Chicago Smoke and Sale page where many people have commented and said, this is the only cigar event out of the many cigar weeks and events that they've been to where the founders are very personable in making sure that everyone is okay. Making sure that, hey, are you having a good time? And that is something, that's our own personal touch that we are just naturally like. We want to make sure that you're having a good time. You know, when you came out, and then Isaiah, his real name is Greg, but on here is Isaiah. When he came out, him and the other guy, I'm like, welcome to Chicago, because now you're going to get the buffoonery, right? But, you know,
I got all of it, too.
You got all the buffoonery, you know. And
I got it all, too.
Right. That's what they do, okay? And it's just a good feel good, you know. It makes you feel welcome, you know. So it's not bourgeois, and it's not, you know, oh, held tight. You do have those different cliques and things of that nature, but I make it a point that if you come in to see me or my husband in our events, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? You cute, you know, all of that.
Hey, that's real talk. Look, I love it, man, and I experienced it, so that's why I don't mind. I could not wait to get you on here. When you mentioned it to me a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hell yeah, let me get this leg together real quick, you know, because you know I wasn't moving too good when I was up there. I was trying though. I was faking it when I was with you, boy. I stepped out of there. We got in the truck, man. My knee was this wide when we got we left from up there. No, it's much better. It's much better now. I'm still taking it easy. I'm not getting out and vending and stuff like that with Chevalier Life, but you know, I will eventually. I'm gonna take my time and come back the right way, but I'm more focused on now conversations with Chevalier and you know, getting people to know one another within the culture. I think it's important for that's like I asked you what your contribution would be. Mine would be, you know, just to, you know, have these conversations and let people see who we dealing with, who we are as people.
Absolutely.
You know, I think I think a lot of that gets lost in the translation. You know, I've
Yeah.
had people say things to me and they're like, "Yeah, you think you better than me," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know you." You know, they're like,
Right,
"I've had
right,
that. I've
right.
had that,"
Wow.
and so, and I'm like, "Man, I'm nothing like that." You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a laid back dude. You know, I'm not.
yeah.
I'm 57 years old.
Right,
Got a bunch of grown kids,
right.
and you know, I'm just enjoying finally at a stage in my life where I can sit back and enjoy something, enjoy the
Yeah,
commonality that
absolutely.
we have through cigars.
Yeah,
And so, you know, I thought it was important to get you here, for people to know who you are, to see you, to see our interaction. I wanted them to experience what I experienced and what I appreciate
hmm,
and adore about you. Um, Another thing I wanted to do, because I know your husband's in the comments, I want to say, hey man, thank you so much for allowing your wife. And I don't want to mean like you know, I don't mean it like that, but I
yeah,
appreciate you for having, you know, allowing her to come out with us and not feel no kind of way. And,
yeah,
you know, I just appreciate that because you have to be careful about what people
yeah.
have going on behind closed doors. And
Right.
you don't want to, you know,
Yeah,
I don't want to offend anybody, but me and my wife had such a great time. So,
yeah. I
you
had a good
know,
time with you all too. And he did tell me to tell you what's up. Of
yeah,
course, he's on the road.
tell him I said
He was,
what's up. He's in the
yeah.
comments. He
Oh,
said
is
it was
he?
a great interview.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he's in the
cool, cool.
comments. And
Check him out.
Cigar Rock Stars in here. He said Boogie and Mel love y'all.
Oh, we love you too, Cigar Rockstar. I can't wait to see y'all when we go to Dallas.
Man, look here. I'm gonna tell you something. You and Boogie coming to the patio for a
Okay.
bramble.
Well, let's
Yeah,
do it.
you guys will be
Oh,
hosted in the backyard
all
because I'm
right.
outside in my
Well,
backyard.
thank you
But
so much.
y'all will be invited to come over for a bramble and we'll smoke. Ray will be here. Ray will
Okay,
be here.
let's
He'll be
do
he'll
it.
be staying here at the house, him
Okay.
and his wife. So definitely gonna have y'all over
Dope.
and try to show you guys a good time and give you some of the love that you and your husband showed me and my wife when we came. We
Appreciate
really appreciate it.
it.
And
Yeah.
so before we get out of here, and we ain't in no
Okay.
rush. It's
Okay.
8:02. It's my
Right,
damn
right,
show. We can stay on here as long as we want to.
right. Right.
But what do you want people to know about you as a person
hmm.
and about your business? What is the most important things that you want them to know about you as a person and your business?
I am very silly. I love to laugh.
Yeah.
I love a good corny joke, but I'm also about my business. I respect people's time. I also appreciate when people respect my time as well.
Hmm.
So if we say we're going to do something, let's do it. You know,
Right.
give me a heads up or whatever the situation may be. My business is growing. I am a multi-millionaire in the making. Look, I'm claiming that. It just ain't get my
Hey,
count check.
let's
Look.
let's do that. Let's do that again. I always tell people, Mel, I'll be like, look, I'm working on my second million. They be like, dude, you a millionaire? I'm
Right,
like,
right,
no,
right.
man, I
I'm
failed at the
speaking it.
first one. I'm working on the
That
second
part.
one. You know,
That
I'm on the second one.
part.
That first one didn't work
Okay.
out right. F
Look.
that one. I'm gonna move to the
Yeah.
second one because I got
There
that
you
one
go.
coming up.
There you
Yeah,
go. We got to speak that thing into existence. You
real
know,
talk.
we really do. We really
Yeah,
do.
yeah, we
But
definitely do.
yeah, I'm just really trying to make my brand and my businesses nationally known. And now that I have an ambassador in Toronto and I have ambassadors in Georgia, I can see that it's coming to life.
Hey,
And
tell Lady Cigarillo I need I'm gonna need an autographed picture or something.
autograph picture.
Her Lashays stuff. You know,
Yeah,
I need
there
an
you go.
autograph. Look, I fanboy over her, man. Her videos be so fly,
Yeah.
and you know, I be trying to do my thing, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
my thing don't be like her
Right?
thing, like some of
Man,
y'all.
neither.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mine's
be
either. I
trying.
said I got to get my content back up because I slack a lot.
Yeah,
So now
yeah.
that I got
I
this
know how it is.
time, yeah. So now that I got this time, that's why I said let's go ahead while I got a little time to go ahead and do these interviews. So I've been on a few podcasts and lives. So I just have to make the time work now that I have it, you know. But I definitely got to get my content game back up and running like I used to. It'll get
Well, I tell you,
there.
I'm sold on M. Lashay's Alluring Smoke. I'm sold
Thank you.
on Chicago Smoke and Sale. I'm
Mm-hmm.
10 toes down for you guys and Boogie. And I'll tell you something. Anytime you want to go live, you got my phone number. I'm still off for a few more weeks. You
Okay.
know know you got some people. Hey, let's call me up. Hey,
Let's
Chevalier,
do it.
what you doing? You know, I know it's 106 degrees, but
Right,
you
right,
know, you want to
right.
go outside and smoke. Let's
Right.
smoke and talk. I got something I want to talk about, and I promise you, if I ain't got nothing going,
Hmm.
which right now, other than a little rehab and smoking and drinking all day, I ain't
Right.
got nothing going.
I
And
know
so
that's right.
anytime you want to do that and promote your stuff, I'm here for you.
Appreciate it.
You know, I don't want nothing.
Yeah,
My payment is to see, you know, you and your husband and what you guys have built together grow.
I
That's
appreciate it.
my payment. It makes me feel good, and I feel like I've got an extended family, even though I'm from up there. You
Right.
know, I'm the only one in my family that smokes cigars, except for my cousin
Mm.
that runs Karma
Mm.
over at Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck Sanford runs Karma over.
Yeah.
That's my
In
cousin.
Maryville.
We the
Yeah.
only two people in our whole family that smoke.
Wow. Ain't that
And
something?
so, and I can't get him to come out the lounge. I was trying to get him to come over
Yeah.
there and hang with us that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. You was
Can't
telling
get
me.
him to come out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can't get out. I be like, man, you got, you know, you're
He can
55,
wait
man. Just
for
get
a little
out.
bit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
Right.
told, just get out, man. Just tell, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a big boy this weekend. I want to go out and hang out with my cousin from Texas.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, everybody can't do that. Everybody ain't like me and
Right.
you. They can get out, go hang, and they ain't got to fill out a permission slip to do so.
Dang,
So,
not a permission.
you know. So I'm gonna ask you one last question. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you one last question.
Mhm.
And we talked. I asked you some questions at the beginning. You
Mhm.
sitting back. You finished this interview. You had a good time. You and Boogie go outside in the backyard, pull two chairs up, turn on a little mint condition. What does the perfect night in your backyard look like smoking a cigar with your
Well,
husband?
you just said it. That is the perfect. That's it right there.
That's it
You.
right there.
That's it
A little
right there.
mint
We just.
condition.
Yep. I love me, man. Oh, Stokely is my dude. I love Stokely. But yeah, we just did that yesterday, and he got on the grill, cooked for us and everything, and it was good until the mosquitoes got to us. I said, all right, I gotta go now. But yeah.
Man, I didn't experience no mosquitoes when I was up here. I'm surprised I'm not getting ate up now, but it's still 95 degrees out here right now,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it hasn't got that hot yet. It's not. They haven't
Yeah.
cooled down enough for them to come out the grass and chew me up. I
Right.
got on jeans and a shirt because I just
Oh
didn't want to
wow.
get ate up tonight. I didn't
Right.
want to do
Right.
it over there. I wanted to get out here with the wind
Yeah.
and just kind of talk to you. I wanted to relax and really have this conversation, man. I think you're an amazing sister of the leaf, and
Thank you.
I am honored to have you on Conversations with Chevalier. I look forward to more conversations, some collaborations, and I look forward to sit back and watch you accomplish all the things that I know for a fact that you're going to accomplish because you claimed it and your journey says it so.
Thank you. I
And so
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you for joining me on Conversations with Chevalier. For those of you, I do this. I try to do it every couple weeks. You know, hit the drop down up top. Follow us both on here. Go to Chicago Smoke and Sale. That's Chicago Smoke and Sale. Go to Chicago Smoke and Sale. Follow them. Follow M Lashays. That's LASHAYS _ follow her Instagram and get connected. Connect with everybody on here. The way we grow the culture is to do just that. Get connected, interact with one another, and support as much as we can. This has been Conversations with Chevalier. My guest is the incomparable Mel Lashay of M Lashays, Alluring Smoke
Thank you.
in
Thank
Chicago Smoke and Sale. Hey, I'll holler at you in a little
you.
bit.
All right. Thanks
All
for having me.
right. Thank you for
Okay.
joining me.
All
Y'all have
right.
a great night. This has been Conversations with Chevalier.